Hi, my name is Chrissy, and I am here at Renaissance today to talk about my story of how I got here and what I had done and where I'm at now, and just to get you to know sort of where I'm at. So I guess I'll start at the beginning, which is where a lot of people are, which is sort of an unhappiness with my own body. Yeah, I've always been a self-confidence person and felt great about things, but there were some things that just bugged me. And I think that things bug you for a while and eventually they get to a point where they're on your mind a lot. And I found I looked in the mirror a lot, and every time I did, I didn't really like what I saw. I had 3 children, and that changed my body as well, and I wasn't 100% happy with it before, but that really sort of got me to a low point with it. My first procedure I had done was the breast augmentation, and I think that was the thing that really got to me, which was I didn't feel very feminine, and I just didn't feel sexy, and I spent a lot of money on push-up bras and things to make them look better, and but yeah, that just was in the back of my mind for a long time. And it sounds dumb, but there was one little comment that I think just sort of pushed me over in the edge and getting me to make the decision. And I was in a swimsuit and I felt great about other parts of my body, and someone made a joke and said, well, my 12-year-old niece has bigger boobs than you do. And I laughed, but you hear that your whole life, and eventually it gets to that point where it's not really funny. And so it was just a few weeks after that, and took to the internet and sort of Googled how do I even do this, and what does it cost, and what does this even entail. I just really didn't know much about it. I didn't even know anybody who had done it to talk to, and that's how I found Renaissance. And I just kind of scoured their website for pictures. The before and after pictures was what really, I think, made me pick up the phone. And I was kind of scared to pick up the phone, but I did. And it was great. And I talked to Marla, who answered the phone, and it wasn't just like a, hey, let's schedule an appointment for you. It was, let me give you all the information that you need. And she asked a lot of questions, and it just made me feel so at ease that we were laughing and talking and everything by the end of the conversation. I think I took 30 minutes of her time easily. And so I made the appointment, which for me, I just felt good about. And I was excited, and I told a couple of friends, and they're like, that's great. So then I came in, and it worked out great. I got to meet Marla, who was so friendly, and as it turned out, I knew one of the nurses here, and so that was nice. I just felt so comfortable, and everybody was just really, really nice. And I went in, to the room to watch the video to see what it was about, and then Dr. Boschert walked in, and he's like a foot taller than me, and I looked up and I said hello, and just one of the nicest people I think I've ever met. And he just got it, and he understood. And what I really loved about that original consultation was they really wanted to see what I wanted, and that's what everything was about, was what do I want and what do I envision, and how can they make that sort of dream come true for me. And I just felt good about that. I was always worried about, someone saying you should do this or you should do that, and it wasn't like that at all. But I really felt like I got all the information. Any question that I had whatsoever was, answered, and everything. And then the best part about that first visit was then I got to go and do my fitting, which was really fun, and it sort of felt like girlfriends dressing up to do stuff, and it was nice, and it was just a gradual thing. I started, to put the implants in to see how it would look, and just progressed until I got to a point where I felt comfortable. And eventually, I'm like, okay, this is it. I don't think I would feel comfortable any bigger than that, but wow, it was just really neat to see. And so I think I made the commitment in my mind that day that there was no way I couldn't do this, and I wasn't worried about the surgery and all those things. I mean, those were the kind of things that you're going to undergo surgery, but this was the end point, and it was going to be worth it. So I scheduled that day, and I think it wasn't that long, maybe 6 weeks later or 2 months later, something like that. And so then I had the date, and I told a few more of my friends, and they were all sort of excited, and you can't believe how many people said, "Oh, I'm so jealous." And so then I started shopping, and I bought a couple of bras from Victoria's Secret that weren't a AA, and that made me happy. And so I went in just before, I think it was a week before, for my last sort of pre-op visit, and it was nice. I came in, and I got a big packet of every sort of thing I would want to know of what's going to happen before surgery, the day of surgery, after surgery, what I can expect, and just prepped me for the fact of, maybe I would feel nervous before, or I would feel emotional afterwards, and things I hadn't thought about. Which is good, because you're sitting there the night before your surgery, and is when those thoughts come in, which is, did I make the right choice? And so it was nice to be sort of educated on that. And then actually I had the second fitting, and what I found was interesting was that I think on the first one I was so excited, but I got a little scared, and so I sort of stopped and said, this is where I'm happy. On the second one, I asked and I said, what, do people usually, if they don't feel happy afterwards, is it that they went too big, or they went too not big enough? And I think I sort of heard that sometimes people feel like maybe they could have gone a little bigger, and but they were a little worried about it. And I think I should have been from Texas, because it was like, go big or go home. And so I sort of I changed my mind at the last minute, and Dr. Boschert talked to me and said, you changed your mind, just what's going on there. And I just said that I thought about it, I had time to think about it, which was good, and I realized that I think I would feel comfortable with something that was a little larger in size. So went home, got ready for the surgery, felt great. Amy called me, I think the night before, just to say, hey, how's it going, how you doing? I was good. I woke up, I went into the surgery center. They were wonderful there, and I had someone come with me, and just got ready for it. And Dr. Boschert came in, and I was kind of nervous and giggled, and he just made me feel at ease. And what he said was, this is what I'm going to bring in, and I know this is where you want to be, and we're going to try and get you to exactly where you want to be, but where your body is going to be able to accommodate that. And I want you to look beautiful and proportioned, and I want you to be happy. So a few hours later I wake up and I'm groggy, and I don't remember a ton about the first day. I remember going home, and I think I ate some ice cream or soup, and I slept a lot. And then by the next day, I sort of felt myself again, and I have to say I was really worried about the recovery afterwards. And I am a runner. I was worried about how long it would take me to be able to get back to sports. I had a triathlon I was preparing for, and he was very honest about it'll take this many weeks and this many weeks, and for each thing, and it was not nearly as long as I thought it was going to be. But I can say I went out on a run 9 days after my surgery, and I felt good, and it didn't hurt anything at all. I went very slow. I walked a bit, and but that, I think, amazed people. Was afterwards they're like, you had this surgery and you were able to do that, and the recovery was so much better than I thought it was going to be. I didn't have anything major like moving a nipple around or anything like that, so I don't know if that shortened the recovery time. But yeah, each day gets a little better, and within 3 weeks, I felt like I always had this part of my body, and I felt comfortable, and I couldn't stop looking at him in the mirror. And it was just nice, and I felt good, and everyone's reactions was amazing.
How was
And
the swimsuits afterwards?
the swimsuits, well, I bought like 6 of them before the surgery, I'm being totally honest. And yeah, I tried them on and they looked so good, and I took selfies. And yeah, just, I felt sexy, and I felt, yeah, like I could go out the next summer and wear that swimsuit and feel hot again.